At just 20 years old, Jude Bellingham has already established himself as one of the best footballers in the world. The winner of the 2023 Ballon d'Or Copa and Golden Boy trophies, Bellingham has quickly gone on to become one of Real Madrid's and England's most vital players. Despite initially starting his career as a deep-lying midfielder, Bellingham has turned into a goal-scoring machine and has scored vital goals for Birmingham, Dortmund, Real Madrid, and England. On course to be one of England's most decorated players, let's take a look at 10 of his best and most special goals. First goal for Birmingham. Born and raised in Birmingham, Bellingham is a product of Birmingham City's academy and first joined the club when he was just 8 years old. He would quickly rise through the ranks and became the youngest player to ever play for the first team when just 16. Emerging as a vital part of a struggling Birmingham side, Bellingham would go on to make 41 appearances for his hometown club, with his first goal coming in a 2-1 victory against Stoke. Despite having scored some beautiful goals, his first professional goal won't be one that is largely remembered. With the game tied at 1-1, Bellingham picked up the ball from midfield and drove upfield, with no one closing. The space opened up for a shot, and Bellingham let fly. Taking a heavy deflection, the ball diverted past the Stoke keeper and in slow motion dribbled into the net, sending the Birmingham crowd into raptures. Bellingham's winner was enough to secure the Blues a vital win, and thus the Bellingham mania had officially begun. Last goal for Birmingham. After taking the championship by storm, every big club in Europe wanted Bellingham, and it was always likely that his stay with his hometown club would be brief. He agreed to join the German giants Borussia Dortmund at the start of the 2020-21 season. His last goal for Birmingham would come against Cardiff City. Showing some of his predatory instincts that have now become a major part of his game, Bellingham was on hand to score from a well-worked corner, ensuring that Birmingham picked up another vital 3 points against fellow relegation rivals Cardiff. With Dortmund winning the race for his signature, at the end of the season, Birmingham decided to retire Bellingham's shirt. Ridiculed at the time, the decision now looks inspired, as Bellingham is well on his way to becoming a true England great. First goal for Dortmund. Dortmund has established a fine reputation for developing young players, so it seemed a great decision for Bellingham to continue his football journey for a team with youth at its heart. Wasting no time in becoming a first-team regular, Bellingham scored his first goal for Dortmund on his debut in a comfortable 5-0 victory against German minnows MSV Duisburg. Bellingham's first goal for the German Giants was similar to his first Birmingham goal. Receiving the ball in the box, and with just the keeper to beat, he slid the ball under the keeper, but the shot took a huge deflection and looped into the top corner. His debut goal made Bellingham Dortmund's youngest ever scorer and announced him on the global stage. First Champions League goal. One of the major reasons as to why Bellingham chose Dortmund over several other English and European giants was Champions League playing time. His first goal in the Champions League didn't take long, and ironically it came against one of England's biggest clubs, Manchester City. Trailing 2-1 after the first leg of their Champions League quarterfinal, Bellingham gave Dortmund hope when opening the scoring in the second leg. With the ball pinballing around in the City penalty area, the ball broke to Bellingham, who showed a remarkable level of composure to shift the ball and curl a beauty of a strike past the despairing dive of Ederson and into the top corner. Dortmund would go on to lose that game, but Bellingham's star was quickly rising. Bellingham becomes Dortmund captain and takes them to the brink of Bundesliga glory. Not only does Bellingham's football ability belie his years, but he clearly has a significant presence in the dressing room. At just 19 years old, Bellingham was made the Dortmund captain and captained his side to the brink of the Bundesliga title. However, it just wasn't meant to be, as Dortmund's 2-2 draw against Mainz was enough for Bayern to swoop in on the final day and pick up yet another title. Despite the heartbreak for Bellingham and his teammates, Bellingham was instrumental throughout the season and was voted the Bundesliga Player of the Season. Contributing 8 goals in his final year with the club, his best goal of the season came against Eintracht Frankfurt. Picking the ball up with his back to his goal, Bellingham produced a beautiful Cruyff turn. Creating vital space for himself, he produced a beautiful finish into the bottom corner. It was a goal reminiscent of great strikers such as Thierry Henry and showcased all of his skill and abilities. Bellingham scores first goal for England and kickstarts 2022 World Cup campaign. But first, subscribe here so you never miss a video. With Bellingham dominating all before him in the Bundesliga, it was no surprise that he quickly became an integral part of the England team that headed to the 2022 World Cup as one of the favorites. England's first game of the tournament was a tricky-looking contest against Iran, but Bellingham eased any nerves with a brilliant display. Showing all of his athleticism and strength, Bellingham powered into the box to get on the end of a delicious Luke Shaw cross. Having to generate all of his own power, Bellingham produced a header that England teammate Harry Kane would have been proud of, as he expertly looped an effort over the despairing dive of the Iranian keeper and into the net. England would go on to win that game 6-1, before eventually succumbing to France 2-1 in the quarterfinals. Bellingham produces best England display in Downing, Scotland. Scotland versus England games are always special, and Bellingham was keen to make a mark on football's oldest fixture. A friendly only in name, Bellingham was the driving force behind England's 3-1 win. The scorer of England's second goal, he pounced on a loose ball from the Scottish defense and slammed home an emphatic finish. Despite a late Scotland rally, Bellingham would later put the game on ice with a beautiful assist to Harry Kane, who would put the game beyond doubt and ensure that it would be England who would take home the bragging rights. Bellingham provides his first taste of Madrid magic. After impressing on the German stage for Dortmund, it was no surprise that, once again, Bellingham was a wanted man. With many expecting Bellingham to return to England, he decided to carry on his European adventure and sign with Real Madrid. Since joining Madrid, Bellingham has been right at home and has taken La Liga by storm. Already chipping in with vital goals, his first goal for Real came on his debut, when he found the back of the net against Athletic Bilbao. With a corner making its way all the way over to him just inside the penalty area, Bellingham tried to attempt a half volley. Side-footing the ball into the ground, the ball took off into the air and slowly looped over the despairing dive of Unai Simon before nestling into the back of the net. Similarly to some of his other debut goals, Bellingham's strike wasn't the cleanest, but it got his team off to the perfect league start. Bellingham stuns in first-ever El Clasico with 2 goals. If anyone still had any doubts over Bellingham's star power, they were quickly put to rest when he put in a superstar display against Barcelona in the first El Clasico of the 23-24 season. Trailing their great rivals 1-0, Bellingham took over proceedings and almost single-handedly dragged his team over the line. The first of his goals was simply sublime. With Madrid hanging on, Bellingham picked up the ball 30 yards from the goal, and with space around him, took aim and arrowed a thunderbolt of a strike into the top corner. With Barcelona stunned, Madrid sensed blood in the water and went on one last attack. With a cross that was only partially cleared, it was Bellingham who was the quickest to react, producing an instinctive stabbed shot to send Madristas all over the world into delirium. Absolutely thriving on the grandest stage of them all, you get the feeling that they won't be Bellingham's last El Clasico goals. Bellingham inspires Madrid to Champions League win over Napoli. When Madrid was drawn against Italian champions Napoli in the group stage of the 2023-24 Champions League, it was a tie that many were excited about. In what turned out to be an epic contest, Madrid shaded the match 3-2, thanks to another inspired performance from Bellingham. His goal in the game will go down as one of the best he has ever scored. Picking the ball up just inside his opponent's half, Bellingham weaved his way through the Napoli defense until he was just left with the keeper to beat. Showing no signs of panic, Bellingham opened his body up and produced a masterful finish into the bottom corner. Madrid will be keen to win yet another Champions League trophy, and you feel that if they are to return back to that promised land, then it will be largely because of Bellingham.